Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Ace and Ektar Heroes of the Storm casting podcast. He's still Ace, and I'm still Ektar, and Ace, we get to cast some of our friends again.
Yeah, it's almost like we're a little bit biased right now, but Gen.M is playing again and we're casting them, but not just for that reason, Ektar, as the low numbers of casted teams report indicated that their opponent, the House of Chez, is in fact on the list. So we're casting them primarily, and Gen.M just happened to be playing against them.
It doesn't hurt as well that we do historically like casting within our own division. We always make the joke, it's for scouting information, and it's only partially a joke, but we've actually played both of these teams already, so it's not that biased.
Yeah, and it's still fun. It does create this kind of divisional playlist almost of stuff we've done, and it's just cool to do. But definitely do like to venture out, cast some other teams, but about half the casts end up inside the division. So, Ektar, how did we get to Braxis Holdout?
We got to Braxis Holdout after not going to Braxis Outpost, thankfully. Coin toss was won by Gen.M, who for the first time this season, at least in my casts, opted for map pick. They banned out Volskaya Foundry, their opponents banned out Sky Temple, the two least played maps in NGS this season, by the way.
R.I.P. Volsk.
Then Gen.M banned out Alterac Pass, and House of Chez banned out the most popular of Infernal Shrines, and Gen.M take us to their staple map of Braxis Holdout, where we find ourselves in draft.
Yeah, an Arthas ban first here from Gen.M is a little bit unusual. We do have the Stukov and Garrosh being banned out by the House of Chez, who do have the first pick, as mentioned. So we'll probably see a Johanna here. I know InfoFox is on record saying he does not respect how powerful Rhaegar is. But what about Johanna? I guess we'll find out.
I would be very surprised to see Gen.M picking up the Rhaegar, which does give the opportunity for House of Chez to pick up Johanna and Rhaegar, which mathematically should make them heavily favored going forward.
So, Ektar, you and I know what's going to happen in this draft. I mean, let's just be real here. I do see why they left up the Johanna. It makes sense.
It really does, and if House of Chez have done their homework, and they know what their opponents are likely to do given the map and who they are and how they've played it in the past, I'd like to see them do something that plays around it. And I think Johanna is a good step, but also Johanna's just Johanna, so you can't glean too much from that necessarily.
Yep, Johanna, Anduin, Greymane, all just good heroes. Good maybe understating it just a little bit for Johanna. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this third ban goes for both these teams. Gen.M going with Li Ming.
Seems
I think
fine.
that's fine. Yeah. I disclaimer, haven't scouted for House Chez in a while, so don't know if they play Li Ming much this season. But it feels like a pick they would do.
I feel like this ban will tell us whether or not they've scouted Gen.M or not.
Yeah, it's very clear. Let's see.
I will say, unsurprisingly, the Lunara ban is a target ban. And they played her quite a few number of times.
Varian and who do they pick up here? Varian and who?
I mean, Rexar would be a great pick.
Rexar, yeah, Varian Rexar right here. It's it. Like, we know how this draft goes. Varian?
We will forge a great destiny.
Tyrande, so they'll hold the...
I mean, this gives their opponents the opportunity to take the Rexar, but if...
does Marinus play Rexar?
I haven't the foggiest, but they do need an offlaner, and Rexar is objectively better on this map than any other map for him. Probably.
With the
maybe
asterisk of D-Shire. See, House of Chez. So it is Tyrande, so there's going to be more point and click. There's the Zul'jin that I see a lot of out of the House of Chez.
Yeah.
I always say I'm not sure if that's going to work here. I definitely don't think it's going to. I think it's unfavored against a blow-up comp like Gen.M are putting together. So I would not be surprised to see it relatively unstacked and not effective, but I've said that and then lost to it multiple times. Rexar. All right, so we got the 4 out of 5, and the only one we didn't get was a flex.
Yeah.
Teams, do your homework.
So this is going to be Tank Uther into follow-up stun to Ronda into C-Smash Variant, and Gul'dan's just sprinkled in there for some damage and Zerg
Wave clearing damage. Yeah, we've seen it. So we don't intend to cast Gen.M a whole bunch, just happen to do it. We did it once, it fit in our time schedule, second time, and here it's the opponent House of Chez. They've done this every series we've casted them, it's not new.
Yeah, this is full on, they can't keep getting away with it levels at this point.
Yeah, shout out to Randy Newman being at level 2112. Very cool. So, yeah, ban anything. Just ban the variant. Done. Problem solved. Like, literally this map, this pick every time.
Got the prediction started.
I was wondering if you were doing the
Thankfully, the last stream that I did was our POV stream against Gen.M, so I didn't have to update it too much.
Yeah, there you go.
Alrighty, for the first time tonight, spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are House of Chez. I'm a big fan of Caribou mounting unmounting in there. I'll be a bigger fan if he Divine Stars the wall before the game starts. Chez mix, Chez mix playing the Johanna. The dude is on... Oh, I can't even tell. Greymane. We have Flash playing, I think, his signature Zul'jin, and Mariners 005 playing Dihaka.
And on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we do have the Gen.M Esports with French playing Gul'dan, Randy Newman playing the Tyrande, Infafox on the signature variant.
Ooh, that doesn't look
half
like
a signature.
Owl. It is a big owl.
Nice, it is. Randy Newman on the Uther and Logicalia on the Rexar.
Alright, so we don't have scissors, but that's okay.
I didn't say... Did I say Randy Newman on the try? Yes, I did.
You definitely said Randy Newman. Twice, in fact.
Thank
we have
goodness.
Laws of Hope coming out from Johanna, and not the double blind out one, which is a little bit less popular.
Yep.
A lot of CC coming into Flash, but he is going to get a lot of that health back, though.
Now, remind me, Ektar, and I'm going to check it. Do parried shots count... Do parried auto attacks count for Zul'jin quests?
I don't believe they do. But I don't know.
I will be checking that. My inkling is that they do because he's at 8 currently, and I think that's a decent chunk. But I'm going to be watching. Ooh, French steps a lot of forward and is going to take a bunch of damage. Is going to be able to walk out those. And Fox takes a lot of the pain for him, and that's a lot of stacking there by Flash as he continues to just channel auto attacks into the retreating Gen.M units.
I think that would have been one. Did you get it?
I did not. It was a little too full.
Yeah, so for the first portion of this game, on the whole, Gen.M should be a lot weaker because they have a variant. They're able to do some good damage to Flash, but not really able to threaten the kill, and Caribou is going to get him nice and healed up. The Light Well cooldown gets reduced every instance of healing that Anduin applies. So the more he's able to heal, and even those auto attacks especially, is going to reduce the cooldown of that Light Well, which is really strong heal throughput.
Yep. And with Varian down and with the Bear down for a few seconds, House of Chez has taken the button. I was a little bit of a doubter in the pre-draft of Flash being able to get the Zul'jin stacked, but I mean, I guess this is how he keeps getting away with it. Already up to 49 stacks thanks to that recklessness, really helping or getting a lot done in this pre-4 time.
Thank you, Raka, coming in for the raid. I guess I don't have alerts on this scene for some reason. I'll have to make sure to get that fixed at some point. And welcome everyone from that match. I forget which one you were casting.
In the top lane, we do have Misha going down again. Mariner's low on mana, but is able to take the button. Fox is going to take a lot of damage. Randy Newman reveals from the bush and able to heal. C-Smash is picked up, and Flash has jumped on immediately, but The follow-up wasn't quite there. The dude takes the Lunar Flare, but the split damage is not going to result in a kill, and Flash already halfway stacked to that You Want Axe quest.
Yeah, I think that even if necessarily House of Chez didn't know what was happening, they seem to have found a really good adjustment to the relatively beefy and slow engage style that Gen.M are displaying here. It's not slow, but it's not a very consistent fast engagement either.
Yeah, it's a lot of melee. A lot of people have to get into position.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do see Zerg picked up mainly for House of Chez in the top lane, though. That's going to be a hard work as both teams that rotate up. Randy Newman actually took the Trana into the Johanna, which I think is rather interesting as well. So
that is
yeah,
also
really
why I find it a little bit strange that they ended up going not for the blind. Oh, Infofox does get stunned out of his C-Smash there. Is not going to apply that armor. Significantly reduce the amount of damage they're taking. Yeah, but blinds really do shut down Trana's field sweep, so getting extra of those is really valuable. Even if Gen.M don't necessarily have a ton of auto attack damage, I think shutting out the Tyrande heals and the Darien C-Smash auto attack damage is probably worth it.
Flash continues to stack now up to 113. French at 26 stacks of that Echoed Corruption. Here comes the engage, but Johanna with the Iron Skin is able to walk away, and that problem will only be remedied for Gen.M once they hit level 13 and get the Shield Breaker.
Yeah, and given the strength of the format, it's a little bit difficult for Gen.M. They don't have one or two heroes that can really easily go out and take a camp. They have French and Randy Newman trying to do it now, but it will be slow and relatively inefficient compared to the Greymane Anduin on their opponent's team.
Yeah, that is some camp-taking power there with the Zul'jin and the Greymane. So both of them picked up here for House of Chez in just a second. Meanwhile, only top camp picked up for Gen.M Esports as the 4-man continues to scuffle around here in the top lane for both teams.
And it looks like with as much trouble as Rexar's been having with losing Misha, they actually rotate Uther down into the bot lane, so it's 4 versus 3 in the top lane. And when House of Chez identifies this, they should be able to make some really good value happen.
Yeah, Marinos is having to run for his little dino life, but with all the bushes in that bottom area and plenty of essence to consume, he will be just fine. Ooh, now he's under towers, which could be a little bit of a large commitment. Mariners, I'm not exactly sure why he's doing that. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the Bruiser camp with the 3 Goliaths are going to go ahead and take out this top 4 first one of the game in favor of House of Chez.
Yep, Flash gets the final tap on there. Infofox is going to go in for some damage, immediately gets blinded out, and is going to have to run for his life. A good peeling arrow from Randy is going to see Infofox getting out of there, unless Infofox turns around. But that is going to be all for the push from House of Chez. They're going to rotate down towards their opponent's Bruiser camp. I think this is a little aggressive, but with all of with all of Gen.M showing in top lane, it's relatively okay.
Yeah, and they just saw, I mean, due to the damage dealt, they knew the team would either have to be back or peel or just leave the area, so it was good. There goes the first, I would call moderately successful engagement, as Flash was required to get that pull out of there. Meanwhile, Johanna just walks right through the fort with not a care in the world, and with the global power, Mariners is going to go ahead and grab that top button, and level 10s are almost here, Ektar. That's going to be tough for Gen.M unless they do something right now.
The thing that happens right now is Flash finishing his baseline stacks before 7 minutes, which is certainly not going to make things any easier for Gen.M. We have the ults getting picked up very quickly. We had the Blessed Shield come out, but nothing was there to follow up on it. It's just kind of forcing Gen.M back, but Gen.M are in a pretty rough spot at the moment. Logic Hala is getting forced away by Dahaka. Infofox is looking for some damage out of Flash, but only gets a little bit of it, not nearly enough to kill, and that is going to be another full Zerg wave going over in favor of House of Chez, and it looks like things are going to get even worse for Gen.M here.
Yeah, they're going to take a lot of deaths here. 3 down already. There's the 3rd one down as the aggressive rotation put them out of position to retreat to their own fort. So more pickups for House of Chez allow them to continue on forward and really start to gain a lot of value as French not super capable of defending this on his own just because of how exposed he is with no front line and no healers.
Yeah, Randy is here now, which is going to let French step up a little bit. But Bless Shield's available. House of Chez could make an aggressive play happen here. Mariner is going to find a tongue, get stunned out for it. But that is going to be a pretty quick keep going down here in the House of Chez's favor. They're looking for more. If they find a kill, they might be able to get it.
Oh, there goes the Blessed Shield out. Randy Newman immediately dropped to 7 HP with a D shield. Now the pull onto the dude who tries to go back in. Fox unable to make the kill happen, instead dies himself. Mariners lands a nice tongue onto French. And this core is at 30% and dropping quickly. And that's going to be it. Zerg OP. 8-minute, 42-second game in favor of House of Chez.
Blessing upon friends!
I just got a notification that I don't know what it's for.
I got one too, but it's not in a Discord you're in.
Oh, you know, no, it was a Brightwing Blessing Upon Friends, which is... Isn't that my son emote?
Follow?
Maybe.
Unsure.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I got to follow up a Mariner just right now. Thank you very much. Report flash for feeding right at the end there.
Yep, there you go. Only death. So like I've said, we've seen this twice on this channel with Gen.M. That was about as bad as it could have possibly gone. Huh. Yeah, I didn't see a clean engagement or anything. It just kind of spiraled out of control really quickly. The Ando and Johanna was really tough to get through to get any of the big auto attack targets.
Yeah, normally Gen.M try to find value by using the relatively consistent, if soft engage that Varian has to get, you know, their follow-up stuns in place, and Varian's already up there to get the damage in there. But they just weren't ever able to find a way to get past Johanna. They got 2 Zul'jin a couple times, but it was really only Infafox getting there, which isn't enough of a threat.
Yeah, I agree with you. They never had the smash into stun, into Tyrande trait, into Big Dam. It just kind of... The Tyrande, I don't know about the Tyrande in that comp. Because the C-Smash already applies the armor debuff and everything, I just don't see a whole lot of opportunity for that to come into effect, and the healing output is not particularly great for the fact that she's not adding quite as much.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Also, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen a hero under 1,000 XP soaked.
Who was that?
That was Tyrande, which is understandable with the, with the composition and everything and how it's last hit based and Gul'dan's supposed to gobble up that XP. Being the non-mage, frontline character, Tyrande won't get that much XP, but having 800 soaked in a game is like, wow.
That's almost inconceivably low.
It's like one wave, but short game, and all of that together kind of makes that happen. House of Chez still looking very strong as one of those good top 4, top 3 kind of teams here in B East. Yeah,
they're definitely in the top 4, trying to make a case for even higher than that. I have gotten confirmation from Infafox that they want first hero pick. And I've let House of Chez know that they have map pick, and there we go. Cursed Hollow is going to be our game number 2.
House of Chez currently don't know the results between House of Chez and Psystorm Banshees, so I cannot confirm who's got the tiebreaker, especially since it's a 3-way with Durton's couch. Oh my. But they're definitely in that 2 to 4 spot, guaranteed their current second place positioning with that first game win.
Psystorm Banshees has the 2-1 victory over House of Chez.
House of Chez has a 2-0 over Durton's, and Durton's has a win over Psystorm Banshees, so they're all in a 1-1 loop. as far as records against each other.
Which sounds like House of Chez is going to take the tiebreaker win there because they 2-0'd us, right?
It doesn't even matter because they've already got their 22nd point.
That's fair. But there are still plenty of matches left to be played in the season, so...
Yeah, BE shaping up to be very good. There's a nice playoff race. There's kind of a distinct top four right now. Furious George looking strong in the 5th slot. And then 6th, 7th, 8th, all with 15 points. 9th with 14th, and 10th with 13 points, and more matches to be played. So is an interesting... It's going to be an interesting wrap-up to the season here in the next 3 weeks or so here in B East.
Yeah, Gen.M, they're currently 7th place, but they have a couple fewer matches played than a lot of teams, although House of Chez is right up there as well with only the 9 matches played.
Cursed
Yeah.
Hollow.
All right, game 2 here on Cursed Hollow is chosen by the House of Chez. So we'll have to see what adjustments get made here by InfoFox and crew here for Gen.M to kind of change up the pacing of the last game.
Given that it's a very different map, I expect a lot of things to be different.
Now go for the blow up.
They can have blow up, but they're going to need a little bit better ability to soak lanes. Because there's 3 of them now. I know it's an obvious statement, but still.
Crazy. I remember the days when people were asking for a 4-lane map. Like a compressed Tomb of the Spider, like
Oh my,
Tomb,
that
but a
sounds
4-lane
awful.
map.
That sounds actually awful.
Oh, it's like you do a double soaking offlaner plus a 4-man rotation. Ooh. Imagine you could speed run to level 20 in like
When you
9,
put it
10
like that,
minutes.
it doesn't actually sound that bad, but it probably would be that bad. Like,
And just imagine
how do you
it's the
ever
towers.
adequately take camps?
I mean, I guess you just draft more wave clear, like you go Greymane Gul'dan or something like that. Split the Greymane and the healer, put the tank with the Gul'dan, and then have the offlaner kind of do Towers of Doom things. And instead of, 1 lane at the end, you put the 4-man rotating between 2.
Yeah, and you probably end up
Kind of an interesting concept.
with a weird tank meta where obviously Johanna is even better on that map. You maybe even go with some weird things like tank Leoric or something, just so you can get all the wave clear you need.
Yeah. There's InfoFox picking up the Garrosh as I think would be preferred in many, many scenarios here.
Yeah. Many a game has been won by Gen.M by first picking Garrosh.
Yep. Very, very powerful hero in InfoFox's hands. Had a chance to play against it, had a chance to play with it. It's just good.
I gotta say, I prefer playing with it, personally.
Yeah, gonna say that. That looks like offlane ETC to me, Ektar.
Go on.
I mean, Mariners picked it up, who's a Dahaka from last game. 2, House of Chez has done this before.
Okay.
They have just run offlane ETC, and they do it not infrequently. Ooh.
That's
I
really
like it. It is. And it's a fight wing, so we don't know what's coming with it either as far as a pair. Whether it's, the classic OG Illidan, I doubt it. Or, a Samuro possible. Or a whole manner of really good heroes.
I don't know Logicalia's hero pool well enough to
Same.
suppose at what that next pick might be.
Yeah, neither does House of Chez. They're going to go ahead and ban out the Illidan. With the Brightwing pickup, I know Brightwing's a global, but it could have been a pick deny for the Illidan. I feel like that could be the case. That they, in fact, did get the good ban, but nonetheless, there's plenty of opportunity to pick a different hero.
Yeah, Illidan is like the poster child of the Abathur Hat target, but he's got a whole crew of backup dancers that can take his place at any time.
Deckard and Lunara picked up Flash, kind of two-tricking Lunara and Zul'jin, if I remember correctly. and using him to great effect in almost every match. Let's see. These are going to be the spicy, interesting pick.
Personally, I very rarely like Deckard into Brightwing because her trait lines up so well against his forms of CC.
Fat Illidan.
Yeah, it is in fact Fat Illidan. Not, in my opinion, the most preferred hat target. Normally you want someone with high damage output and relatively low survivability, so the extra survivability of the hat can make a big difference. Fat Illidan doesn't have that. He already has survivability in spades, so giving him more... Obviously, it does keep him alive and in the fight longer with some extra damage, but I don't think it's really quite the target you're looking for. This does not look like an off-lane ETC to me.
It still could be, technically.
It technically could be, if it's tank Deckard, I suppose.
No. Everybody's offlaning, and then 2 people go to the camp. That's how it works. Mariners is going to be holding on to the ETC. I think that is just kind of a flex capability, though, whether they wanted a second tank or not. I believe they leave that open in many, many cases. I don't see Mosh Pit getting any kind of value this game, though. With Brightwing Polymorph and Tychus Grenade, I just don't see how ETC is going to be able to have much of a good day. It doesn't play super well into Garrosh currently.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit rough for ETC in particular, but the rest of the team, I think, is actually pretty well positioned here.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage, and that's really what you want against comps like this.
Alrighty, spawning on the left-hand side. In the blue trunks, looking to close things out in a 2-0 fashion. They are House of Chez with Flash APMing it up on the Lunara. Chez Mix playing the Thrall. Mariners playing ETC. The Dude is playing Li Ming, and going all the way back to base so he can mount and unmount is Caribou on Deckard Payne.
Right, and on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we have Gen.M Esports with French riding the Zergling on Infested Tychus. Infofox playing the signature for real this time, Garrosh. Randy Newman playing Brightwing. Randy Newman playing Abathur, and Logicalia on the Chen. That Wisp just took an Abathur nest. That was cool.
Oh man, and Chen took an orb to the face there. It's a lot of damage is going out in the first 20 seconds already. Not even time enough to talk about talents. We do have the green level one coming out from Thrall. I never remember what it's called. Rolling Thunder. Which is a pretty normal talent for the offlane. Oh, we still see... Not Crash Lightning, the blue one coming out. Echo Corruption.
Echo the Elements.
Yeah, Echo the Element, not Echo Corruption. I'm dumb.
Thrall running the Echo of the Echoed Corruption. That would be spicy, but different things echoing here.
Yes. Not just my microphone. We do have the Aether Walker because Blizzard finally succeeded in making the Dude want to pick it up.
I'm glad that you're still on that bit after it's been, what, 2 years since that patch note?
Something like that. And I can't get over it because when it didn't work, they did another one.
Yep, that is a true fact. Let's see if I can get this really fast.
All right, we have both teams working on their camps already. Abathur is helping French to secure that one. Brightwing is even going to come in there to get him topped off, and the Dude is going to be taking the other one. Actually, even quicker than Tychus did, mostly by virtue of having started it faster.
All right, Ektar, here's your lore real quick before we get into the first curse phases. Everybody's just doing camps and boring things, although Flash is actually in a little trouble.
Nah, he's fine. Logicalia is now in a little bit of trouble, though, but Abathur hat.
Yeah, and also Lunara, I don't think can actually kill Chen if he just presses D.
He can if he doesn't stay in the
There you go. Yeah. So on February 27th, 2019,
oh god,
a developer commented, "We're gonna get you to want to pick Aether Walker. Just you wait." And then a month and a half later, on April 4th or April 17th, they removed the mana cost from Teleport with Aether Walker, and their developer comment just says, "How about now?"
My favorite developer comment ever.
And that's the last time they touched Aether Walker.
They haven't needed to. It's been competitively viable since then.
Yep. All right, glad the podcast section is over. We are into first Curse's tribute phases. Both teams picked up all the camps as they kind of want to do. There goes ETC actually taking a bunch of damage, but did save that power slide so he could get out.
Checking back up on the top lane, our offlaners, such as they are both pretty well topped off there, missing the keg smash onto Flash. Ooh, big knockback. He's going to save Flash from potentially being thrown there, and both teams working on getting their channel. Both teams also have a couple of heroes out right now, Brightwing obviously being global, and Brawl is being required to clear up the Bruiser camp in mid lane, which in theory gives the opportunity for Gen.M to do something, but at the same time, they're an Abathur comp, so they kind of can't really do anything all that much until 10.
Yep, and even if they do, they have to rely on Randy Newman picking the right talent. Difficult for some other Randys, I have heard.
We do have the cleanse coming up from Bright. We need to get Logicali out of there, as said, a really good for cleansing, specifically the scroll of Ceiling coming out. Ooh, a big one actually is going to land on the 2 here. It's going to give a nice spell power bonus to Deckard Cain as the first kill in the game goes on to ETC.
Yep, and Fox tried to get the toss on French, but instead threw Logicalia. But nonetheless, Abathur gladly soaking away the bot lane, picking up soak in the mid lane, so things looking much better here for Gen.M as, you know, they didn't get the first tribute, but they did grab a kill, so they're accelerating their path to level 10, that very, very important level for Abathur, as you mentioned.
It's been a while, but I'm still going to bring it up. Since the introduction of XP globes, body soaking for Abathur has been substantially weaker. You actually have to be in the lane and not just in a bush to acquire the soak with your body instead of using your hat, so there was an opportunity for Randy Newman to body soak in the bottom lane, opted not to do it, and probably missed out on a little bit of XP for it.
No, but with the introduction of XP globes, you can just hat and vacuum up a bunch of XP that's in the general vicinity a little bit easier.
True, but then you're only soaking with the hat and not so much with your body, which is one of the things that Abathur is known for, is soaking XP in more than one place.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with that.
It looks like Gen.M are going to full give on this objective as well, which it doesn't seem like House of Chez really identified very quickly, so a nice little advantage in Gen.M's favor.
Yeah, there were 5 people up by that objective there for... Ooh, there goes Polly actually onto the Leeming up top. Tychus minigun just does not do a whole lot of damage to those very light targets, so did not get burned down too quickly, but nonetheless, yeah, we saw 5 people up there, and instead, you know, Gen.M just decided to soak 3 lanes, so they're already pushing their level 10 talents now, whereas House of Chez about a half level behind. Should have it by the time the objective spawns, but a little bit of an advantage window here.
The dude was going to piss me off if he left all these potions here as they're picking up that camp. Is going to grab all of them as Caribou had so kindly left them on the ground for her to pick up. We do have the dude coming up for a bit of rotation onto here. I don't think they're going to be able to find much down level 10 on their opponents. Certainly not. We have Brightwing porting down into the bottom lane to help with Logicalia pushing under this bottom port as the objective is spawning as well in the bottom lane.
Interesting heroics of note. We do have the Emerald Wind for the Brightwing. I think that's a very smart choice.
We also have the mosh pit you weren't expecting.
Yeah, that one's I didn't say I wasn't expecting. Nice combo onto the dude. Going to be root. Did not get the root off right there. Emerald Wind is going to go out, ending the mosh pit, albeit not too early. Tychus clone comes in now as double minigun trait will rip apart any tank. Mariners is way in there, but the slide not quite enough to get him out. Chez Mix, the next one to go down, and this Abathur comp looking fine here for Gen.M.
Hit level 10, win team fights. Funny how that works out. I do want to make a small critique. I think Logicalia popping the Panda Pels there during the Warlords Challenge meant that Li Ming got out. I think if he just did Chen things, probably the dude does not survive that engagement.
This is looking a little scary, I'm not going to lie. Brightwing does not have port for a burst heal, and now Gen.M are too close to death to be able to contest this. They need to give this up before they give up kills and the boss instead of just the boss.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna... House of Chez not making as aggressive of an escape as they could have. Randy Newman does get the Emerald win just in time to save a couple people. The dude is actually getting very low, is going to survive a very clutch potion coming in from Caribou is going to save the dude there. Infox looking for a throw, finds one onto Chez Mix, and that is going to be a counter kill onto the Thrall. Really nicely done by Infa to help stymie just a little bit of that bleeding.
Yep, unfortunately, advantage a little bit thrown away there as, no, that boss play is just a bit too aggressive with the low death timers and the low HP totals this early on. And this is going to be very dangerous now, as there is a boss pushing bottom lane, but very importantly, this is for Curse. Oh, and they don't interrupt Flash. That's going to be Curse over to House of Chez, and now full retreat is on.
It is. Logicalia is going to pop the stagger to take a lot of that damage off. Got put on short cooldown with the Panapels. Randy is going to disengage, but Logicalia is the first fall. Infofox is very low and very in there. Randy's heal gets interrupted, and that is certainly going to mean Infofox is falling. French is getting chased down by a Chez Mix. Pops the drill as just an attempt to get out of there, and actually going to do quite a bit of damage. Does peel decently, and now House of Chez are the ones opting to take their opponent's boss, although I very rarely like this decision this early into a Curse phase.
Yeah, they're, I could definitely see them trying to run down top fort and then take the boss, but, you know, to each their own. They've got what they want out of a first Curse, to be fair, and then some. I mean, they've got all of bottom keep. That's true. Big.
It is, and their opponents are not especially close to their own Curse phase.
Not particularly, and nor do they have a lot of camp clear. Infofox is looking for a scuffle here as everybody is in the area, but under that Bruiser camp, 20 spell armor is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and this boss is still very healthy. We only have Mariners up here, and he's just going to soak a little bit of XP in the lane. So this boss isn't going to get all that much more value, but it does give the opportunity for House of Chez to go ahead and take all of the other camps on the map, starting with their opponent's Siege.
Yep, that will be all 6 camps turned blue here for House of Chez. They're in good shape for this mid-game.
You just said that.
They'll be up a full level or so, a little bit less as the minions are pushed out in favor of Gen.M, so they'll be able to soak up a little bit more.
Mariners is kind of out in front here. Is going to be able to Q on out of there, but luckily for them, not quite enough CC coming up from the Garrosh. Should just lock down the ETC, and there wouldn't have been all that much follow-up damage anyway, but things are really coming up in favor of House of Chez at this point. Gen.M likely going to need multiple consecutive teamfight wins to find themselves in an advantage, if not to only break even, given the 6-2 building disparity.
Yeah, again, that's a lot this early on. Well, it's a lot at any point, but especially for it being the 11-minute mark, it's going to be tough, even though the levels are still comparably close and, you know, able to be brought back with a single team fight. It's very tough. There goes the blow-up combo onto the Deckard. He's going to get a bunch of rubies, though. He's going to be forced, but ultimately does survive. Infofox, instead, the one to go down, is not able to interrupt the polymorph either, so Caribou continues to stay alive. Great job by Caribou using the 20 armor and just getting those rubies in time.
I wonder actually if the spell power from the level 1 there wasn't the thing that kept him alive during that.
Oh, that would be
field study. 20 or 40 actually, depending on how many he can hit that E.
Yeah, I think he just got low on the first one, but nonetheless, that is a very critical save there. And now mid-keep about to go down. May not happen here. Mariners trying to make it happen.
Dude,
Fox returns
happen as well.
Yeah.
But with Fox coming up, it is the safe decision to get this curse here. And then there's not much on the map. Actually, boss comes up in 15 seconds in the lower left-hand corner. I don't expect either team to try to make a play for it, although if Gen.M show in mid and top lane in too large a numbers, I could see House of Chez trying to force a boss play there.
Yeah, very possible. Level 16 is a big power spike here because it for Abathur because it creates a movement speed disparity between the two teams. Now the dive is onto the dude again, but the illusionist, no, this glass cannon, just the teleport is able to get him out of town, and that is a lot of rubies to keep anybody alive in that fight.
Big two-person taunt followed with the throw combo. Infofox is, however, going to get blown up for his impudence. Randy Newman is gone. Next, Logicalia looking for this kill onto Flash, and Caribou is not able to save them in time as Lunara gets taken out. However, they are going to get taken out as well. Only Abathur surviving this team fight, it looks like.
Panda Pals does in fact mean that Abathur is the sole survivor here for Gen.M, but if Abathur's the only thing living, it might be that the core is not. House Chez are going to opt to back off. I think they could have ended here, but with how team fights are going for them, I'm not. I don't mind this decision whatsoever to grab the second tribute and bottom boss.
I mind it a little bit. The dude was a bit low on mana, but that's the only person lacking in resources besides, I suppose, Lunara lacking hit points. But that was a long time for only Abathur core defense, and
yeah,
with as good at this game as the players of House of Chez are, I definitely think there was a strong possibility that could have ended.
Yeah, and Li Ming's got the extra damage here with the Mirror Ball and the Seeker. I definitely think they could have ended there, but nonetheless, the decision they made is not a bad one.
It's not. There is a world where they are able to defend core, and then over time the Mule can get the core topped back up and made it so House of Chez just wasted a lot of time and resources.
Oh man, this could be the counter that they need though. Taunt comes out and that is death against the ETC. So maybe a little bit of regret on these decisions as tribute spawns in 15 seconds and yeah, could be a very important one here.
I want to see Gen.M leave this boss now that they've done enough damage to it. They've got the Mule so that they can get the core topped back up. Losing core hit points doesn't cost them anything. Their opponents are taking, I think, a very crafty boss in the top lane, as they know that their opponents are clearing boss, and they're going to then prioritize the objective. But this is just more pressure that the members of Gen.M are going to have to contend with, and there's just... It feels like there's just more and more pressure on Abathur to make things happen. And Randy, get down here. You need that Locust Nest be pushing there.
Yeah, they definitely do. That bottom lane is going to be constantly under a ton of pressure. Panda Pals was popped, and does not find any effect out of it. So instead, boss is now up, and this is pushing in the top lane while the tribute is spawning here over the next 20 seconds, and it's going to be very tough for Gen.M to clear this out and get up to the top curse in time.
Similar to what I was saying before, I think the play for Gen.M was to try and make the play for curse. I don't think that defending and eating another curse... Well, I was going to say that. They're going to lose all their buildings anyway once a curse phase do. Besides push minions into all of their lanes, which they pretty much have anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Things are really rough right now if you're a fan of Gen.M. They barely have one keep alive. Lanes are all pushed in on their favor, and now they can't even get help from minions. Oh, and down level 20, just to make things even worse.
Yep, a little bit of insult on that injury. Randy Newman is going to have to take a sliding pig to the face. The mosh is going to be interrupted by French, and Randy Newman gets the throw out of there. This has to be a very quick team fight win. Wow, that is so much stagger. Logicalia going to try and get to the core to minimize that damage. Infofoxo does go down in first in this fight, and I just don't see how Gen.M is going to do this.
How it's going to happen is multiple people getting hit with that 75 armor cut. We saw it on Mariners, and got brought down very fast. Core is beginning to fall. Logicalia doesn't have Panda Pals available, and they're going to fall as well. The GGs are coming out from Logicalia. They know that this game is over, and that is the 2-0 victory for House of Chez.
Oh, and they're so close to 20. I can't even see more than a pixel or two that they're missing. But...
Need a higher resolution monitor, Ace.
Oh, 3 to 4 pixels that are missing.
Haha.
Closer game, but definitely outside of a couple immediate level 10 scuffles, looked in the favor of House of Chez for a lot of that game.
Yeah, It almost, and I'm somewhat loath to say this, it looked like Infofox was maybe too confident on the garage.
A little bit. There's a lot of trying to make things happen, and I definitely get that when in a tough spot. But nonetheless, I mean, it's just hard to make it happen sometimes. Did a good job grabbing some of the picks, but ultimately, with the amount of damage that House of Chez were able to bring with their 3 damage composition, they really overwhelmed anything that Gen.M could do.
That's actually a crazy amount of healing coming up from Caribou as well.
Well, that's what happens when you run through 1,200 rubies in one team fight.
You're not wrong.
Yo.
Chez Mix is offline, so I can't message them about who would maybe want to come by for post-game
Flash did. Oh, and Flash is offline. They are all offline according to BattleNet, so there might be no interview here. Might just be in raid mode. Arrow RG is streaming.
Okay.
And I haven't seen that name in a long time. What else is, though? I only started looking. I didn't realize we weren't going to get an interview or anything. Crush, Banky, Gimme More. Arrow. Mundane Zebra. Us. Let's see. I'm trying to check all of them. That game is game 2.
Yeah, really not. I think I've tried everyone at this point.
Yeah, just rate up Arrow for not being Anybody? Twitch chat? Want to get him there or no? All right, we'll just yell at him in Twitch chat then.
Twitch chat is in fact the greatest form of communication on the planet. So, by the power of Twitch chat, we will get somebody in here for this post-game interview for House of Chez.
All right.
There it is. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thank you.
Why the
All
heck?
right.
The heck
Yeah,
did
that's
all
what
of
I'd say.
you
First question. What's
immediately
with all
log
the Alt
off?
F4s immediately? We're looking for an interview 12 seconds after you finish the game, and it says 5 teammates are offline. I'm like,
We're early birds, man. We wake up early.
Oh, okay.
So
We came in with the mindset of in bed by 10:30, and we met our goal.
Hey, you still got 15 minutes, young man.
That's why I have time for the interview.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good thing you got the 2-0 then. All right.
Yeah, those were good matches.
So in the first game, Ace and I were both kind of discussing it. How much scouting did you put into this match?
We do our homework for each week.
Okay. Mostly, we were
nothing
both a
else I'll
little
say.
bit surprised that Brax's holdout was allowed through. Does that mean that you were anticipating the strategy coming out from your opponents, because they've been remarkably consistent at running it on that map?
We were prepared. That's the most I'll say. We were prepared for whatever they were going to throw at us.
Alrighty, you heard it here first. They knew what they were going to do and had the counters in place. It worked out well. I was just interested to know if it was a composition you were going to run anyway, or if you anticipated what your opponents were going to do. And I think, more or less, we have our answer. Ace, do you feel the same?
yeah, that had the energy of the book reports do. Let me pull up the Spark Notes and then get called on first in class. That's what that sounded like, and you nailed it. So guess that works.
I'm actually a teacher, so therefore I love that analogy. So I will be stealing that. Thank you very much.
Very cool. Very cool. What do you teach out of curiosity?
I teach math.
Hell yeah.
My man.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right. So after what I would call a pretty commanding game number 1, where your opponents had the map pick, that for first hero pick. So what about Cursed Hollow draws your team to it?
It's home. You wanna pick the map you're comfortable on. You pick the map you have multiple strategies to run, and pick the strategy that works the best according to their team and run it as best you can.
hard to disagree, to be completely honest. It looked like you were very comfortable on that map.
Yeah, we saw the garage pick pretty much said, all right, let's go, the strategy we showed on screen. And, it usually seems to work against divey garage comps, and it definitely did.
All right, sounds like you definitely did, in fact, do your homework. Which,
Thank you.
As a teacher,
and I got an A on the
you
test.
should be. That is right. So with that, it puts you into second place in the standings behind Masters of Mayhem. Have you already had your matchup against them?
We've not. We actually play them next week.
All right.
Hello. Well, just out of curiosity, that is Tuesday at 8 Central. Oh, heck. I won't be around for that.
No, you've got speedrunning.
I have bowling.
That too.
I have bowling at that time next week.
Yeah, it is Tuesday at 9. I forgot about that. I should probably alert my team.
Hey, team, whoever's watching this interview, you've got a match next Tuesday at 9 Eastern. They've been
Nice.
in the Twitch chat the whole time, so...
Yeah. Especially
that's effective.
Mariners. Mariners was in there quite a bit.
Between deaths.
You're not allowed to say that.
Fair. Would type something in all chat, then type something in Twitch chat, work on an essay, then move right on, and then play the game again. Just lots of multitasking there.
So I guess the only questions I have remaining are actually just about names. Is it House of Chez or House of Chez?
It is House of Chez.
House of
Damn.
Chez. I said it wrong the whole cast, and I've said it wrong for multiple seasons, and I'm sorry.
It really ruins the pun opportunities as well of throwing shade and things like that.
You said it
It's
again.
like having the substitute teacher pronounce your name wrong every time. It's how it is. It's happened to us every season.
As someone with an extremely German last name, I feel that on a very personal level.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked that up off of Wedge, and that's just a Canadian thing, so sorry, I guess.
Also
Sorry?
a Canadian thing.
Also a Canadian thing. So,
All right. Are you familiar with the StarCraft player?
Talking to me?
Yes, I am.
yeah.
I am not.
Okay, that is a big disappointment to me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The namesake of our team stomped me in StarCraft about 15 years ago, and I haven't played it since.
Well,
In
Shout
original
out to Chez.
StarCraft, Flash is probably the best Terran player of all time, and
Oh, for real?
has spawned numerous memes about him being the best gamer on the planet. Yes.
Oh, no,
there's
definitely,
some good memes too.
definitely not me. Although I will argue I had the handle before he did.
Possibly.
And so that's a dangerous one. People on StarCraft 1 have claimed their names for what could be actual centuries. They're actually passed down as family heirlooms.
And with
And
that
they're
awkward
not.
silence out of the way, thank you, Flash, for coming by for this interview. You still got 9 minutes for any shoutouts that you want to give.
Shout out to the whole team. Thank you, Chez, for coming in on the spot. Peels, who wasn't playing tonight, but Caribou, the Dude, and Mariners. As always, we all did a great job. And shout out to Death, who is not playing. And shout out to Death of Icarus, who is also not playing tonight.
All right. Thank you, Flash. Congratulations once again, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you very much. Thanks again for casting.
Absolutely. And we return safely to the casting bunker where the plebeian non-caster players cannot follow.
Oh, thank goodness. If somebody were to invade us, we'd have to make like a mods caster channel just so we could, pretend to have superiority there.
Yeah, I think we start heading out in, like the volunteers chat or the leadership chat. It's more likely someone would end up invading than if we were just hanging out here in the casting lobby.
That is very true. The most pretentious thing would be to cast from the board.
Yeah,
That would be-
from the NGS board Discord. You know what?
We'd have Weenus in there in a
we have to
heartbeat.
do that next time to see if we can prompt Weenus into joining us.
All right, you heard it here. We will do that next time. Ektar, where are we going here?
I don't know.
Arrow's set is probably about to finish. If I were to take a guess at the direction of the game, is the team ahead in the series is also winning pretty well right now.
Oh, I know where I want to go.
Is Eternally Blue TV new as far as a new cast up? Yeah, it's just starting game 1 if we want to go there.
Ooh, which cast is that?
Eternally Blue TV.
Well,
That's Vendetta versus Big Push Power, a team we have, I believe, casted this season.
well, I am not going to raid that channel. I'm going to go ahead and raid Bloody Drapes instead.
Alrighty.
Mostly because I'm allowed to be biased and send the raid on over to the team that I was just coaching yesterday. So thank you everyone for coming by, and gonna get the raid on out here, and we will see you from the NGS board cord next time.